All right, so get ready. Today, we are going deep into cultural differences.
Ooh, fascinating stuff.
It is. We're using this model
Okay.
called Geert Hofstede's 6D model. Have you heard of this?
I have, yeah, it's like a framework
Yeah,
for understanding.
it is. How different cultures, like, around the world
Yes.
approach, like, basic issues, like
Exactly.
how they work and how they see the world.
Yeah, it's super insightful.
Like, why do people do what they do? We are going to find out.
Yeah, we are going to decode those cultural differences.
Yes, with real-world
Oh,
examples.
absolutely. Real-world examples are key.
So to start us off, can you tell us a bit about this Hofstede guy and what he did?
Sure. So Geert Hofstede, he was a Dutch social psychologist,
Okay.
and he did some groundbreaking work in cultural studies, like way back in the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
And he basically identified 6 key dimensions
6.
that shape a nation's culture, yeah.
Okay, this is exciting. What are they?
So the first one is power distance.
August.
Like, how comfortable are people with unequal power distribution?
Okay.
Bosses and employees, teachers and students.
Gotcha. Yeah, those power dynamics.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
And then we have individualism versus collectivism.
Okay.
This is a big one.
It is. We hear that a lot.
Yeah. Do people prioritize individual goals or group harmony?
Okay.
Big
It's
difference.
huge, yeah.
Then we have masculinity versus femininity.
No, wait, is this like actual gender?
No, not about like literal gender.
Okay.
It's more about the dominant values.
Gotcha.
Does the culture emphasize assertiveness and competition?
Like that classic
Yeah.
hard driving kind of thing?
Yeah. Or is it more nurturing cooperation?
Okay, interesting.
And then we have uncertainty avoidance.
Uncertainty avoidance.
How do people cope with ambiguity? The unknown.
Oh, okay, so like some people are planners.
Planners, yeah.
And some people just wing it.
Exactly.
Got it.
And then long-term orientation.
Long term.
This is about time, right? Do people focus on future rewards or like immediate gratification?
I like immediate gratification.
Yeah, me too, sometimes.
But yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Future versus present, basically.
And the last one.
Last but not least, indulgence versus restraint.
Ooh, fun.
How much does society allow for,
Like the good times.
enjoyment, gratification?
Yes, living it up.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's a lot to unpack.
It is. It's 6 dimensions.
6. Wow. So how do we visualize this? It's a lot of information.
Right. Well, Hofstede, he created these maps.
Maps.
Yeah, like world maps.
Okay.
Where countries are shaded based on their score for each dimension.
That's cool. So you could see
Right.
the world
See the world.
laid out according to how people approach these things.
Exactly. You can see patterns.
Fascinating. So let's start with the first one, that power distance.
Okay, let's do it.
What does that look like on the map?
All right, so imagine this.
Okay.
You're looking at this world map, and countries are colored, like a heat map.
Okay.
So bright red would be high power distance,
High power distance.
where hierarchy is expected and respected.
Give me an example.
So think of traditional monarchies
Okay.
or those super formal corporate cultures.
You wouldn't want to speak out of turn.
Exactly. You wouldn't see much questioning of authority there.
No, you'd get in trouble, I bet.
Probably.
So if I was working in, say, Japan, looking at the map here,
Yeah.
and it looks pretty red.
Yeah, Japan's pretty high on the power distance scale.
So should I just march into my boss's office and start suggesting things?
Probably not the best approach.
Probably not.
In a high power distance culture, you really want to be mindful of those established hierarchies.
All right.
So you wouldn't directly contradict your boss.
Especially not in front of other people.
Yeah, especially not publicly.
Okay, good to know.
It's all about respect for their position,
Got it.
even if you disagree.
So Japan, high power distance. What about the opposite?
Yeah, so on the opposite end, we've got those low power distance cultures.
Low power distance.
They're like the cool blue on our map.
Ooh, refreshing.
Yeah, think Scandinavian countries,
Right.
known for their egalitarian approach.
Egalitarian, so
Everyone's equal.
flat hierarchy.
Exactly. Titles and positions are less important
By what?
than individual expertise and collaboration.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So you might even see employees challenging their boss in a meeting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In a brainstorming session, it's all about the best ideas.
Wow, talk about a different work environment.
Agreed. Very different.
Okay, so that's power distance. We
Yeah.
get a sense of that.
Yeah, from one end of the spectrum to the other.
What's next on our cultural world tour?
Okay, let's move on to individualism versus collectivism.
Individualism versus collectivism.
This one's a core one,
Get it.
gets to the heart of how people see themselves
Okay.
in relation to the group.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, do they prioritize their own goals, their independence?
Yeah. Like that American dream kind of
Yeah, exactly. Or
upside.
is it more about the needs of the collective harmony
Group.
group?
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Huge difference.
Okay. What does our map tell us?
All right, so if you look at the map, you'll see the U.S.
Yeah.
blazing red for individualism,
Makes sense.
right? Whereas many Asian countries,
Okay.
deep blue for collectivism.
Okay. Wow. So it really
It's geographically clustered.
it is, yeah. Like continents apart almost.
Yeah, and it influences everything
Sandy,
from how people talk to how they raise their kids.
give me an example.
So imagine growing up in a culture where, you know, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Fitting
That's
in.
a core belief.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So like in those collectivistic cultures,
Yeah.
it's all about like not making waves.
Exactly. Fitting in, not rocking the boat.
That's so different from, like
Yeah.
follow your dreams, be unique.
Yeah. The American ideal.
Right. It's like opposite.
Totally different.
Oh, man. This is fascinating.
It is. And it can lead to clashes.
Clashes.
How? So imagine an American salesperson
Okay.
used to like solo negotiations,
Uh-huh.
goes to Japan,
Oh, boy.
and suddenly they're in a room
Okay.
with a whole Japanese team.
Uh-huh.
Decisions are made collectively.
Oh, wow.
Consensus is key.
That American's going to be in for a shock.
Big time cultural clash.
They say, what's going on here?
Right. Totally different rules of the game.
Okay. So that's individualism versus collectivism.
Yeah, we're getting a sense of how these dimensions play out.
This is great. Now, what about this masculinity versus femininity thing?
Right. So remember
Uh-huh.
these terms, not about literal gender.
Okay, we talked about that.
It's about the dominant values.
Got it. Okay.
So a masculine culture, Hofstede's model,
Okay.
it's one that prioritizes achievement,
Yeah.
assertiveness, competition.
Like that classic image of like Wall Street.
Yes. Wall Street, fast-paced career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very clear divide between like traditional gender roles.
Gotcha. So then feminine cultures are more.
They're more about nurturing, cooperation, quality of life.
Okay, so not just like women are feminine.
No,
Like the whole
it's
thing.
the societal values.
Gotcha. Okay.
So countries like Sweden, Norway, Denmark,
Scandinavian countries.
yeah, they consistently score high on femininity.
Interesting. They also seem to be
Yeah.
like really happy.
They're often ranked as the happiest countries.
Do you think that's connected?
Maybe it's something to think about.
It's interesting, right? Like maybe if you focus on well-being and working together,
Could be.
yeah, maybe that leads to happier societies.
It's an interesting correlation.
Food for thought.
Definitely.
Okay, so we've got power distance, individualism versus collectivism, masculinity versus femininity.
We're making our way through the list.
We are, and up next is,
Uncertainty avoidance.
oh, that one, yeah.
The big one.
It sounds like it could cause some friction, right?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Like if you have different approaches to,
Like how much you need to plan things out.
exactly, so tell me more.
So, uncertainty avoidance, it's basically how much a society can tolerate ambiguity.
Ambiguity, okay.
Like how comfortable are they with the unknown?
Oh, okay, I get it.
So on one end of the spectrum, you have the cultures that love routines.
Yeah, like give me my schedule.
Yes. Predictability, clear expectations.
Okay.
And then on the other end, you have the, let's just wing it, folks.
Yeah, the go with the flow types.
Exactly.
Okay, so give me an example, like on the map, who are the planners?
So like Germany,
Okay.
they score high on uncertainty avoidance,
What does that look like?
meticulous planning, attention to detail, lots of rules.
Okay, so if you're traveling with someone from Germany,
Yeah.
you better have a detailed itinerary.
Oh, absolutely.
Every minute accounted for.
Or they might freak out.
Yeah. Whereas someone who's more like relaxed,
Yeah.
they'd just be like, let's see what happens.
Exactly. Go with the flow.
This is so interesting.
It is, right?
Okay, so that's uncertainty avoidance, a big one.
Big one.
What's next?
All right, now we're getting into how cultures perceive time itself.
Time.
Yeah, we're talking long-term orientation.
Long-term orientation. All right,
Imagine a slider, right,
the slider.
with future focus on one end
Okay,
and present or past focus on the other.
gotcha.
Where does a culture land on that slider?
Okay, so like some cultures are all about the future.
Yes. Planning for the future, delaying gratification.
Like sacrifice now, good things later.
Exactly.
Really?
They value things like perseverance, thrift, adapting to change.
So who would that be?
Many East Asian cultures, for example,
Okay.
they score high on long-term orientation.
So education's important, saving money.
Yeah, education, hard work, family legacy.
It's all about the long game.
Long game, exactly.
What about the other side of the slider?
So those would be the cultures with a short-term orientation.
No.
More about living in the moment, honoring traditions, maintaining social order.
So, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay, interesting.
They prioritize immediate gratification, social obligations.
So, like, you wouldn't see them investing in, like, a 20-year plan.
Probably not. They'd want to see results now.
Right, that makes sense.
So neither one is better or worse.
Okay.
But understanding this difference is crucial. Like if you're doing business.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, if you're negotiating a deal,
Exactly.
one person's like, let's wait 5 years.
Yeah.
The other one's like, I need results this month.
Yeah, that's going to cause some tension.
Yeah, for sure. It's like they're speaking different.
Different temporal languages.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Okay, so we've got 5 down. What's the last dimension?
Last one is indulgence versus restraint.
Ooh, tell me more.
This one's all about a society's attitude towards enjoying life,
Okay, so, like,
having a good time.
on one side, we've got the party people,
Yeah, work hard, play hard.
and then the other side,
More like everything in moderation.
okay, I see. So where do we see that on the map?
So high indulgence cultures,
Okay.
like Brazil, Mexico,
Oh, yeah, those are,
they love a good celebration.
they do. Lots of color, I bet.
Bright colors on the map, vibrant social scenes.
It's like they're always in fiesta mode.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then the more restrained cultures,
They're more about self-control and discipline.
gotcha. So maybe like places with strong religious traditions.
Yeah, or philosophical traditions that emphasize moderation.
Okay, so like they're not against fun.
Not necessarily.
It's just not like the main priority.
Exactly.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so imagine trying to market a vacation package
Okay.
to a highly restrained culture.
You'd probably want to like tone down the party all night message.
Exactly. You wouldn't want to focus on, like, indulge yourself.
Yeah, maybe more like enrich your mind.
Yes. You got to understand what motivates people.
That's so cool. So like Hofstede's model,
Yeah.
it's like a cheat sheet for you.
It's like a decoder ring.
Yes, for understanding people across cultures.
Exactly.
It's not about like judging cultures, right?
No, not at all.
It's more about understanding them.
Yeah, understanding the difference.
So you can like navigate interactions better.
Exactly.
Oh man, this is awesome.
It is. It's powerful stuff.
It is. But we have to remember,
Yeah.
these are like big picture things.
Yes. Broad cultural tendencies.
Not like individual personality profiles.
Right. Within every culture, you'll find all kinds of people.
So it's like we've got this roadmap,
Okay.
but we still need to like explore the terrain ourselves.
Exactly. That's where the real learning happens.
I like that. So let's zoom in a little, shall we?
Let's do it.
I'm thinking Southeast Asia. What do you think?
Ooh, good choice. Southeast Asia is a fascinating mix.
It is. I can't wait to dive in and see how these dimensions play out there.
It's gonna good.
It's going to be good. I have a feeling.
Me too.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Okay, so Southeast Asia, here we come.
Southeast Asia, it's like this amazing mix of cultures.
It is. So many different countries.
Yeah, and each one has like its own unique blend of these dimensions.
Right, so we can't just be like, Southeast Asia is like...
No, it's too diverse.
Okay, so where should we start?
Well, let's stick with power distance for now.
Okay, power distance.
And you'll notice that a lot of countries in the region, like Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines,
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the map.
they tend to score high on this dimension.
High power distance, so that means...
Lots of respect for authority.
Yeah. Okay, so like, if I'm traveling through Southeast Asia,
Yeah.
I might see a lot more bowing.
You might, yeah.
And like, people showing deference to like, elders and stuff.
Absolutely. Showing respect to those in positions of authority.
Okay, and that's not just like with people.
No, it goes beyond that.
Okay.
It's like in everything.
Really?
Family structures, business organizations.
It's really deeply ingrained.
It's part of the social fabric.
Wow. So if I was doing business in, say, Thailand,
Yeah.
I definitely want to make sure I'm like,
Using the right titles.
yeah, using those titles, being super respectful.
Especially for seniority.
Okay, that's power distance. What about individualism versus collectivism?
Okay, so this is where Southeast Asia gets interesting.
How so?
Because you see both,
Both.
like tendencies towards both.
Okay.
You have those strong collectivistic values.
Like family comes first, that kind of thing.
Yeah, family loyalty, group harmony.
Okay.
But then you also have, like, the influence of globalization.
Right, and modernization.
Yeah, and that's brought in more individualistic ideas.
So it's like this mix of...
It's a blend, yeah.
Of like, we're all in this together,
Uh-huh.
but also go get yours.
Exactly, and that creates this, like, tension.
The cultural tension.
Yeah, you can feel it when you're interacting with people.
Oh, I bet. Okay, that's a lot to think about.
It is. It makes it really dynamic.
It does. Okay, what about masculinity versus femininity?
All right, so here you'll find quite a bit of variation.
Okay.
So some countries, like Singapore, Malaysia,
Okay.
they lean more masculine.
Masculine in the...
In the Hofstede sense.
Right, the values.
Exactly. So ambition, competition, material success.
Okay, and then others are more...
More on the feminine side.
Like how?
Thailand, Philippines.
Okay, what does that look like?
More focus on nurturing, cooperation, quality of life.
So it's like work-life balance.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe in Thailand it's more relaxed.
Could be, yeah.
And in Singapore, it's all about the hustle.
Yeah, that could be a generalization, but...
But it kind of fits with, like, what we know.
It does, yeah.
Okay, that's fascinating. What's next?
Let's talk about uncertainty avoidance.
Oh, yeah, that one's big, especially when you're traveling.
It is, and a lot of Southeast Asian countries, they score high on this.
High uncertainty avoidance. So, like, if I'm someone who loves to just wing it,
yeah,
Southeast Asia might be a little tough.
it could be, yeah, because...
They like to have things planned out.
Yeah, predictability, structure, clear rules.
Okay, so imagine I'm trying to, like, negotiate a business deal in Vietnam.
Okay, yeah.
And I just show up like, let's see what happens.
That's probably not going to fly.
No, probably not.
You'd want to be prepared.
Yeah, a detailed plan.
A clear agenda, yeah.
Okay, good to know. All right, what about long-term orientation?
Okay, so with this one, you have a real mix in Southeast Asia.
A mix, okay.
So you have countries like Singapore, very high long-term orientation, future-focused, delaying gratification, all that.
So they're thinking about the long game.
Absolutely. Education, saving, investing in the future.
And then you have other countries that are more
present or past-oriented.
Right.
Thailand, Philippines, for example.
Okay, so they're more about...
Tradition, social obligations, maintaining harmony now.
So, like, if you're working on a project with someone from, say, Thailand.
Yeah.
You might want to, like, adjust your expectations about deadlines.
Exactly, because their time orientation might be different.
Right. That makes sense. Okay, last one. Indulgence versus restraint.
All right, so Southeast Asia, generally speaking,
Uh-huh.
known for their vibrant cultures.
Yeah, lots of energy, lots of celebration.
Exactly, and that's reflected in their scores.
High indulgence.
Yeah, a lot of them lean towards indulgence.
Makes sense. Like, think of those night markets.
Yes. The food, the festivals.
The colors, the music.
It's all about enjoying life.
So are there any, like, more restrained countries in the region?
Yeah, some are a bit lower on indulgence.
Yeah.
Vietnam, Malaysia.
Okay, so maybe not as much, like, spontaneous dancing in the streets?
Maybe not, but still, the key is...
Understanding the nuances.
Exactly, because these cultural differences...
Yeah.
They can make all the difference.
In how we interact with people.
Yeah, whether you're traveling, doing business, or just trying to, like, connect with someone.
It's like, instead of being confused...
Or frustrated.
Yeah, we can actually appreciate those differences.
To learn from them.
This is amazing. I feel like I have, like, a new perspective now.
That's great to hear. That's what we want.
It's like having a decoder ring for culture.
I like that, a cultural decoder ring.
And instead of just seeing things through our own lens...
Yeah.
We can actually start to see things from other people's perspectives.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about.
This is so cool. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have. We've gone all around the world.
We have, and I feel like I've learned so much.
Me too. It's always a good reminder.
It is. So as we wrap up our exploration of Southeast Asia,
Okay.
what's, like, one key takeaway you want our listener to, like, remember?
You know, for me, like, the biggest takeaway is that there's no right or wrong when it comes to culture.
Like, one culture is not better than another?
Exactly. It's not about judging. It's about understanding.
Understanding.
Yeah, Hofstede's model, it just gives us this framework for appreciating all the different ways of being.
Diverse.
Exactly. The amazing diversity of human experience. It's incredible.
It is. And, like, if we just think our way is the only way, then we miss out on all that.
We miss out on so much.
You know, it's like that saying,
What's that?
oh, culture is the lens through which we see the world.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
And if we only look through our own lens,
Yeah.
we're missing the whole picture.
Exactly. We're just seeing a tiny sliver.
And the world is so much bigger than that.
It is so much more to explore.
Okay, so now that we have this, like, understanding of these cultural dimensions,
Okay.
how can we actually use this?
That's the key question, right?
It is. Like, what's the practical application?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
You're trying to solve a problem, a tough problem.
Okay.
Wouldn't you want a team with, like, different backgrounds?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Different perspectives.
Definitely. The more the merrier, right?
Right, because the more viewpoints you have,
Yeah.
the more creative your solutions can be.
Oh, I see. So it's the same with culture.
Exactly.
Like, if we embrace those differences,
Yeah,
it actually makes us stronger.
it does. We can learn from each other
We can learn from each other, yeah.
and
yeah.
grow both individually and as a society.
That's a good point. Okay, so as we wrap up,
Yeah.
what's like one
One
thing,
last thought.
yeah, that you want our listener to like take away from this deep dive?
All right, so I want you to think back
Okay.
to a time when you interacted with someone
Uh,
from a different cultural background.
okay, so like
Could be a colleague, a friend.
someone I met traveling.
Yeah, someone different from you.
Got it. I'm thinking of,
Okay, hold that thought.
okay.
Now, looking back on that interaction
Yeah.
through the lens of Hofstede's model,
Okay, like using those dimensions?
yeah, can you see how they might have been at play?
Oh, that's interesting.
Right? Maybe there were some misunderstandings.
Yeah, maybe.
Or you were surprised by their reaction.
Ooh, I bet our listeners like having some aha moments right now.
I hope so, because that's what it's all about.
It's like we're not just learning about cultures.
No.
We're actually learning about ourselves.
Exactly, and how we interact with the world.
And the more we practice this, like cultural awareness,
Yeah,
the better we get at like connecting with people
absolutely. Building those bridges.
across cultures.
Yeah, it's so important.
It is, and it's a journey.
It is an ongoing journey.
There's always more to learn.
Always.
So to our listener out there,
Yeah.
keep exploring, keep that curiosity alive.
The world is your oyster.
It is, and we're all in this together, right?
We are all part of this amazing human tapestry.
Beautifully said. Well, on that note,
Yeah.
I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
It has. Thanks for joining us.
Of course, always happy to talk about culture.
And to everyone listening, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.